Greetings, everybody. Welcome. This is our live preview of 2025. So glad to have you here. We've got a lot of educators from all over the country, all over the world here today. And they're going to be asking all the great questions for our audience who will be watching this recorded session later today. So again, thank you. I'm Karen Taylor of the Color Vowel Chart. I'm here with Shirley, my co-author. Hi, Shirley. I'm here with my co-creator, Laura, another great creative mind in the soup, and Lynn Swanda, who's she's our lead trainer, our trainer coordinator, fabulous person helping us out a lot. Suzanne, one of our newest trainers. Nice to see you. Everybody here, I could keep going, but a couple of faces that worth recognizing right now. So you're here today because we're talking about 2025. And when I think about you and how to navigate what we do, I know that we use a lot of different tools, and there are a lot of ways in to find what you want, but maybe today you'll find out about one way of getting somewhere that you weren't aware of. So if you find something new, please put that in the chat and just say, wow, this is new for me, or anything that comes up for you. One place that obviously we can start is our website. And so what I'd love is if it's convenient for some of you to have two screens up, the one that I'm sharing, or this one right here that you're looking at, and your own, that will help, I think, fuel the kinds of questions that you have. Okay. But if you go to colorvowel.com, of course, that's the easiest to remember. You can just start looking at that as I start my talk about the coming year, and then we'll look at tools and information. Okay. So the year ahead, we will continue with our standard courses. We've got level 1, which of course is 2 things. And if you want to hold up 2 hands just to kind of live the reality with me, it's like peanut butter and jelly, except that the peanut butter is more nutrition. Let's see. Basics is a recorded course, and I'd love you to be able to tell your colleagues about this. It's a recorded course that kind of gets the information all in one place. It's a 6-hour course, and that's the basic. And then we've got the level 1 practicum, and this is what Suzanne teaches. This is what, let's see, Lynn right there. Lynn teaches, okay. That level 1 practicum is a face-to-face live course. Not face-to-face. Face-to-face in Zoom, live, attention-centered on the individual, on listening, on perception and phonological awareness. And that is what really brings home all of the strategies that we teach. So that's a wonderful 6-hour course over 1 month, 4 weekly live meetings. Okay. So those 2 are the peanut butter and jelly of level 1, if you will. Come up with a better metaphor, put it in the chat, and we'll see what we can do with it. But I'm always trying to convey that to folks. Okay. So when you're talking to your colleagues or you're considering a level 1 entry into what we do, you can start with the basics. You can combine it with the practicum. If you want to do the practicum, the basics has to be there already or with the practicum. So that's the story on that. Same as always, actually. Any other comments or questions from my coaches or from clients? No, clear as mud. Okay, beautiful. Moving in, after level 1, we've got this incredible level 2 journey. Our courses remain solid. We've got the core, which is a series of 4 courses, and we'll be looking at those shortly. We also have now what we're calling advanced courses. These are 3 advanced courses. So those of you who are already in the level 2 journey, we've been calling those electives. We're now shifting into simply calling them advanced. We may shift to calling them applied, but essentially we're sort of consolidating what that level 2 journey looks like. And those are 3 different courses: lesson planning, consonants, and our third is prosody. All wonderful courses in their own right. Okay, so we'll look at that briefly. And if that kind of triggers your questions, start noting them. Okay, put them in the chat. But the new things for 2025 are 2 things. One is free, and one is very low cost. The free one is for anyone who's completed the level 1 practicum, and we call these roundups. So this is where I'd love to move over to our calendar and start looking at things together if you would like. So here, I'm going to put in the chat is our calendar. Jennifer is not able to make it right now. She may come, but I just want to say a million times kudos to Jennifer. Jennifer Campion has been putting up everything in our calendar. It's been an incredible kind of run. So what we see is her handiwork. Okay, you're opening up that link maybe. And I'm going to take some questions for a second from Jody. For level 2, can you take the classes in any order? Thanks for asking that. You can, because we know scheduling is definitely a part of what you sign up for. What I'll say is that we recommend the core courses as a primary foundation, and then those additional or advanced or applied courses after. But if scheduling makes it easier to take one of those courses first, I simply take that into account when I teach. So it's not a problem. Okay. So, and talk to me, we can talk about each course and sort of see how you feel about that. Okay. All right. So sharing our screen. Michelle Gross asked about prosody. The prosody course is, I want to say it's like an advanced version of chants. But what we do in prosody is very much, it's a case study of a speaker of English, learner speaker of English. And we study and listen to her and try to figure out what we're hearing, prioritize, and come up with applied chants for her. So it's a really wonderful course because it's no longer theoretical. It's very much a responsive kind of thing. Okay. Thanks for letting me know, Elizabeth. Okay. Maybe I need to make that shift right now. There seems to be an error in the community. So let's look at that and we'll see if I fix that in front of you. 1 second here. Let me do my.
Yeah, today's email had the right one, but yesterday's email for this and the teachers community was saying member ID. So I've been like hopping around trying to find the right thing.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, we'll see what I've done. And I apologize. I'm sure that's entirely my fault. So this is our interactive calendar. You will find this referenced pretty much on any other part of our world, except maybe the shop. But you'll see this referenced in our website. You'll see this over in the Academy. It's a standalone tool. And what I love about it, if it's not already your best friend, I want you to bookmark it because it's sensitive to your time zone. That's the biggest win of this tool, whereas some of the other tools are not time sensitive. So that's the number one thing I'd like to share. I'm just managing my own view for just a second, everybody. Thanks. Okay. The second neat thing about it is that you can view it in a way that works for you. First of all, on the left side, you can see all of the different kinds of calendars we have within the giant calendar. So you can choose or unchoose. If you don't want to see level 3 and level 2, and you just want to see everything else, you see how those disappear. By contrast, you can come down here and choose only, for example, level 2 core courses. Now, it doesn't look like there's much, but again, this is December. So let's shift to January. And you think, well, okay, there's just one thing there. This is all one thing, by the way. These are the 4 repetitions of one course. But you think, oh, I don't see much. You can go to the year and start to see all of the core courses as they repeat, or go to a list. And then you start to see, okay, here are those 4 classes of yoga, for example, level 2 vowel yoga, or the 4 meetings of spelling exploration, etc. Okay, and then you can add multiple, let's say here's the advanced courses. So now we have both. The darker of the 2 are the core, and the lighter of the 2 are those advanced courses. So you start to see the rhythm of how these work. When you see repetitions like this, they're the same course meeting 4 times. Okay. And I'm watching the chat in case we have questions come up. But Lynn, if you would monitor that chat and just speak up if I'm missing something, that would be a help while I'm sharing. Okay. Great. When you go into something that you're interested, like consonants, there's a pop-up window, okay? And this might be one course that Jennifer's still going to put in the link, but mostly all of our links are ready. So let me show you rhythm and chants. If you look down here, okay, you can register. Or if you're interested in the level 2 bundle, you can look at that. Either way, you're both going to be taken to, oh, nice. I'm finding cool things right now. Let's see if this one works. There we go. All right, so here's the level 2 core training bundle. Anytime there's a bundle, by the way, and now we're in the academy, you can come down and you will find whatever's in the bundle, and you can click to get to that thing from there. So the bundles are kind of a nice way to view things. Okay. And the sale is on right now. So anything where you want to purchase a course, you can go ahead and go in and purchase and get 20% off with Red 20. I just wanted to show you the process of purchasing and where you enter that. For this, the Academy, the coupon is at the bottom of the purchase page. So you just go right in there, enter your Red 20, and it'll apply it, and you'll see that 20% come off. Okay. So major savings when you're purchasing a bundle like that. Okay. All right. If we come back over here to our calendar, I think I just kind of wanted to get across what you can do there. The other thing you could do is if you know you want to find something like, whereas yoga mentioned, there's obviously the level 2 yoga course comes up. Okay. But there's some other activities that are new. And so I'd like to draw your attention to the clinics and workshops and the community events, okay, as well as our conference. I'll start with that because I think I'm pretty excited about that. The conference is our Color Vowel Online International Conference. I don't know, I kind of like it. C Voice. Easy way to remember it. We have it scheduled for August. Yay, exactly, Suzanne. Thank you. So more coming out about that. There'll be a save the date that actually goes out pretty soon after this business of the sale and everything kind of simmers down. So a little heads up on that. You can read about that there. If we come to community events, we continue to have Pure English practice, but we have a new activity here, which is the Reflective Teaching Roundup. Okay, this is the free event I mentioned earlier. This is for level 1 completers. This was Lynn's brainchild. She wanted to do something after folks finish that level 1 practicum and have some time in the classroom. Lynn, do you want to share a little bit of that vision that you have here?
Okay. Yeah, it's still kind of, we haven't solidified anything, but mainly to come together quarterly or so for and invite those who've just finished level 1 and as well as others who have completed level 1. You have to have completed level 1. Just to come with questions, and we'll have some little strategies of things to do maybe, but questions that, may still be out there for you. So pretty much, and discussion, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, great.
So just a little wrap up in a way.
Yeah, thank you. When you go to the teachers community, and I am finding a few little links that I'll be fixing in the calendar, by the way, and those are my doing. I want to say hi to Gemma, another one of our wonderful trainers. Great to see you, Gemma. When you go to the teachers community, you'll see actually, Lynn and I did chat a bit more, and there is a bit more behind the roundup. So if we come here to see all on our events, and by the way, the teachers community is free. If you're not already in it, it's part of the academy. So you can see up here, it's learn.colorval.com. That's academy. Think of it as your learning space, okay? If you weren't already a member, I'll kind of go to my dashboard. Here in the academy, if you go under teachers, you'll see that teachers community, which is free. And if you're not already in it, you can join here for free and you get into that community. Next to the interactive calendar, this is my next favorite place for viewing activities and events. Also because the time zone is phrased in your time zone according to your IP. Okay, you can see here that this event is live. When I click on it, I'm going to look at that link in just a second here. But when you click on it, you have an access to the link right there. Okay. You can also copy that link and put it into your calendar in advance, and we'll do an extra quality check on the links as we finish it up. Okay. So as we get out of that event and see all, here are these reflective teaching roundups for level 1 trained teachers. I just wanted to show you briefly, those of you who are trained, how this is just a little different than our other events. I just showed you how you can go directly to the event. These are, since they're for only level 1 teachers who have finished the practicum, this is a special Zoom link, okay, that will take you to a registration page in Zoom. And this is just an easy way for us to, well, for us and you. One is us, because we can kind of make sure that everybody who comes is indeed a level 1 trained person. The other thing it allows us to do is remind you. And when you do sign up, you get an email and a link so you can add it to your own calendar. So that's kind of a neat little plus. Okay. So when you finish level 1 training, or you are already, anytime you want to come back and just kind of touch base on practice, what you're doing in the classroom, it's mainly for those newer finishers, but I really encourage anybody to come who's already trained and come and share what they're doing for implementation. Okay. Questions and comments are welcome in the chat. This is a great place to be. You can start to see one other new event. This is our very affordable event called the Teacher Development Clinics. Okay. So we're going to offer 3 of these this year, and we'll offer each one twice, January, February, and then down here, I think my third one's not posted yet, but we've got one about teacher talk. So reducing how much you talk or what you say in your classroom, maybe speaking more cleanly, using a cleaner grammar, fewer idiomatic expressions, just getting into a place where we can monitor our own speech. So this clinic is going to involve watching an excerpt of video, and then also working with some strategies to clean up our own speech in real time. So it's a mini workshop, and I'm looking forward to that in January. Okay. Our word markups clinic is actually by request from a teacher who recently took our spelling exploration course, where we do some advanced markups. She said, I wish we had more practice with this. And a lot of people nodded. So I came up with the word markups clinic. So we can just sort of start to look at that relationship more deeply between the written word and how a word sounds, or the other way around. Okay. The third is an ear training clinic, where we're going to be listening to learner speech and really just training our ears to what are we hearing, where is comprehensibility compromised, most, and so how do we prioritize these issues, and how do we parse between what is accented English versus what is a pronunciation intelligibility problem that needs some intervention. And that's always kind of a big decision point that we have to make as teachers, is when to say something and when not to say something. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop for a minute and just take comments and questions in the chat there. Let's see. So Suzanne, yes, only level 1 completed students will be going to those roundups. And that way it's kind of just an added perk to assist them as they implement what they've learned. Okay. Thanks a lot thanks, Jody. I'm glad you're excited about that. Me too. Okay. Wonderful. Yeah, Elizabeth, yeah, playing around with that calendar and realizing all the things it can do is really a wonderful gift for ourselves. Okay. And okay. One thing I think I'll just stop and say that's exciting, because I happen to have Laura McIndoe in the room. If you're not aware, we are doing live trainings, specifically right now these days in New Mexico. Laura's our state trainer, and we've been working with adult ed and the higher ed department there in that state to deliver live trainings to adult ESL teachers, or teachers of adult ESL, I should clarify. They're all adults. But it's been pretty exciting. So we're not only doing our online courses, but a version of our basics in a face-to-face weekend setting. Laura, while I gather my thoughts, you want to share a little bit of what that's been like for you?
Sure. You guys can listen to my washing machine in the background. Sorry.
No, we don't hear it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like coming back to the classroom after the quarantine, just the magic that happens in the classroom. And it's intense to do 12 hours, 6-hour days, but somehow it flies. And, the participants are always like, wait, that's it? It's over? Like, it's so great to see those aha moments that happen. And the basics course is so beautifully designed that there are just these, the pace of it and the way it's been structured is just beautiful to see it unfolding in person and to see teachers, with their first like, oh my gosh, I don't know this, and they're like, wow. And it's just this beautiful 12 hours of exploration and discovery and watching all these teachers' little minds get blown. So it's wonderful. So you should all come to New Mexico.
Yeah. And we need more trainers and more trainers, by the way. So, we have a few trainers in the room. Raise your hands. I see Lynn, Gemma, Suzanne, Laura. Those are all folks who have gone through our level 3 journey, which is it's a pretty intense, you can nod your heads if that's true. But we get deeply into linguistics, phonology, make sure that you know what you're hearing and what the participants hearing in the room so that we are great level 1 and level 2 trainers. We need more trainers. So if you're interested and you've already started your journey, if you're thinking about starting, talk to me and we can talk about these opportunities. Laura is specializing in that face-to-face setting. We have other states that need trainers. So yeah, talk to me. I would like to touch on one more event that's going on that's kind of new, and it's quarterly. And that is our Q&A that's coming up actually tomorrow. So it's a pretty exciting couple of days going on here. The Q&A, as you can see as we scroll down, is coming up in March again, in June. So this is just an opportunity to touch base and make sure that you feel like you're getting the most out of the products that you buy. You may have heard me say this many times, but Shirley and I really have aimed to develop just a small number of very useful materials. When I work with Laura, she does a lot of the creative work with our digital materials too. And we just try to make sure that anything that's physical does a lot for you. And so this session is all about making sure that you're getting as much out of your physical materials as you can, as well as our digital. Okay. So if you have that, your color vowel chart poster, how many ways are you using it? And where is it, by the way? So we talk about that too, where it should be located, other ways to use it other than on your wall, ways that you can mount it. Like I have one that's mounted on foam core that I use in different ways in different settings, right? Ways that you may not have thought of. So if you have those image cards, how are you using them? Maybe they've kind of got put away on a shelf. Let's dust them off and find, 10 great ways to use those. So that's what those sessions are about. What would you like to see in those sessions? You can let me know in the chat, or you can raise a hand and share that. Okay. So those sessions will be a lot of fun. I'd love to move over to the Academy for a minute and sort of do a bit of a tour there. I'm going to start with sort of the go-to. The thing we can always remember is the website. So whenever you get to colorvowel.com, I'd love to sensitize you, if you're not already aware, that in the top navigation, courses and shop. Those are two parts of our top nav that take you to specialized websites of ours. The courses is, of course, the Color Vowel Academy. Okay, so here's our Teachers Academy. There's the sale. So there's Jennifer doing her magic, right? Before you click out of this, you can remind yourself of the code, RED20. It's available for all level 1 and level 2 courses and bundles. Okay, very exciting. We click out. Here we are. Now the top navigation is all within the Academy until, again, you get to shop. Okay, shop will take you to the materials shop. It's another website. The dashboard, however, and your profile are back to the Academy. When you get to your dashboard, if you don't have one, it's because you're not signed in. And if you're not signed in, it's either because you've never studied with us or you just are signed out right now. So one way or the other, a great way to get started is by joining a free community, and then your login is set. One little sort of word of thought here. It's pretty easy to forget. I know we've got zillions of sign-ins and zillions of websites. But we find that when somebody comes and then creates an account and then they forget and create another account, it can be pretty confusing for you. So it is worth just kind of thinking like, my Color Vowel life is all about this one email. And if you're going to choose one email to attach to, our newsletters and the Academy, I do recommend a Gmail account or a personal account of some kind. Why? Who here has an institutional email? I know Laura Ram does, maybe Jody. It can be tricky because those universities and those community colleges have IT departments that are excited about keeping you safe. Sometimes a little too excited. So sometimes you just don't know that you're not getting a communication, and nor do we. That's what's really scary, is we don't even get a bounce back sometimes. It looks like it's been delivered and it's simply gone off into the ether. So if you haven't heard from us this week, chances are the fact that you're here, you have. But if you're listening to this recording and you have not received an email from us this week, there's a chance that it's gone to spam. If you're a Gmail user, like so many of our people are, there's a really good chance it's sitting in promotions. And there are ways to move the settings so that doesn't go to promotions, or make a habit of checking your promotions folder. Okay. Does anybody have any sort of insights about their experience with our emails? Have you been able to find them and receive them easily? Yeah. Yeah. I'm preaching to the choir here. All right, good. Well, when you're here, back to our website a little bit. There we go. Jody says, I have my Gmail linked to my learner profile in the Academy. Good. And so you'll confirm that you do get the emails. Great. Yeah. And I know it's sometimes exhausting to think about all of that. It certainly is for us, but we try. Okay. And so here you should have a dashboard. You can take a look under learners, under teachers. You can browse all. When you're browsing all, that's a pretty handy way to get a sense of everything that's happening. And each course has a card. This is a big mix of all. Our bundles are listed here. This is especially great if you're entering level 1 or if you're entering level 2. So these are those there's the level 2 core training bundle for spring. We just looked at that a couple of minutes ago and sort of pretended to check out with the code. These certification bundles for level 1, again, are the practical basics, and then that practicum that goes with it. And there are lots of offers of times and days. So again, if you think like, oh, I need to see all of these dates in one place, scroll down to the bottom of the Academy and you'll see again our interactive calendar. So you can play with that again there if you weren't sure where it was. Okay. And you say, I just want to look at those level 1 trainings and I just want to see a list, and this is too small. So now I will go ahead and use the link in a separate window, and now it's big again. Okay. So there's a lot you can do to help yourself know what dates you want and get right back over here to the Academy, to the course that you want. Okay. All right. Once you're in a course, like lesson planning is coming up in January, all the information is here that you might want before you enter the course. I'm going to keep working on getting little videos made so you understand the kind of so what of the course, but you're always welcome to write me. Just write me at Karen@colorval.com, and I'm happy to answer questions about a course as well. So those are here for you. I want you to know that the enroll is for anyone taking it the first time. And then we have a retake audit option for anyone who's already taken it once, but would like to come back. Why would you want to come back for a second time? That might be a question on your mind. we find that lots of people are using the retake audit option. And if anyone in the room has already done that, you can raise a hand and let me know. Lynn, Gemma, our trainers, go back for more and more. That's kind of a good indication. I have Dorley right now is auditing, what did I do last night? Rhythm and Chants. That's one that I think we get a lot out of the first time, but there's more to sort of acquire a second pass around. So coming back is great and super affordable. Auditing just means that you're there in the room, that you have no homework, but you get all of the live sessions, or you could audit asynchronously. Okay. Comment or a question? Anyone would speak to that, the benefit of auditing?
You always learn something new second or third time around. Always.
Yeah.
I'm definitely someone that needs to
Yeah.
rewatch and revisit for sure.
I concur. Are things that you learned before, but you've got so much information or whatever, you haven't used that piece of it and you forget about it. And it's just a nice refresher. And also, Karen's constantly, or not constantly, but I guess the courses update, right? We figure out what works, just like when we're teaching, we figure out what works better and, we make adjustments. And so it's nice to see what's been adjusted and what's been added or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say that word. I mean, Jen, let's see. Lynn was careful with the word. She said update, but I'll be more open about this. For me, these are real working concepts, and I evolve as I teach the course each time. So I've taught rhythm and chants probably, I think, 12 times now, and it's found its way into a place that's super exciting. And I'll just give you this as an example, because I think what's special about Color Vowel and our organization is that we are I'm not looking to can it and be done. I really want the interaction. I get my sense of happiness from talking to you and working with you on a daily basis. In Rhythm and Chants, one thing that we've done recently, like Donna, I'm looking at you because it's been a few, probably 2, maybe 3 years since you did Rhythm and Chants, right? Is we spend the first couple of weeks with some formulas for chants so that we can innovate a chant right on the fly. So like Michelle Gross, I know you took it and you're familiar with that, but something that's new now is working with content-based learning. So we have a whole unit now on that's about a week and a half long, where how can we help learners master the phrases that are common to a particular topic, a particular purpose, and how can we make it so that those phrases just roll right off their tongue or right through their lips and feel easy? How can we create chants around those so that they can start using that language maybe a little more quickly and with a lot more confidence than they could before? So we have a whole unit on that, and that also includes materials development, where we create a kind of a chant practice worksheet. And so part of that is just learning how to work with the Color Vowel icons, working in Google Slides as our layout location, and we actually design materials together. So that's an example where Rhythm and Chants has really become a pretty robust course. Okay. I want to thank Jennifer. She's in the chat. She's answering questions. So don't hesitate to ask whatever's on your mind. Okay, great. So Gemma's going to come back for Rhythm and Chants pretty soon. Sadika asked, can I audit the level 1 practicum course? And Jennifer had a really nice answer there. Okay. You can't audit. It's true. We don't really audit that course because it's so involved, but those level 2 courses are a great place to come back. Okay. Wonderful. All right. So what else do we want to look at? Let me know what else is on your mind. You came today, I know, to support me, and I appreciate that, but you also came for things on your mind. Let me know what those are and I'll dive in. Okay. Donna, since I haven't seen you in a long time, what have you been up to, and how's your Color Vowel training still like? Is it still out there for you?
Yeah, my Color Vowel training is still out there. I think I still have one on the level 2, I think, that I need to complete, but honestly, I need to go back and probably audit some of these because like you mentioned, I first started these probably, about 3 years ago.
Mhm.
And you know, it just life gets busy, you know, had different things. But anyway, I am teaching adults English at the Latin American Association here in Atlanta and really love that. One thing that I just recently wrapped up, which was very exciting for me and my students, it was a corporate class with Latino men who are electricians. And it would be 2 days a week in the evening, and one time online, one time in person. And in person, definitely. I had one of my color vowel charts up. We just left it taped up on the wall. And it was so cool to see them getting it. You know, it's people are like, what in the heck is this when they first see it? But they were pretty excited. And then they're like, okay, so I've been saying these all this time. I've been saying these. I say, no, oh, it's silver. Okay, okay. But specific terminology, different tools they use, um, maybe on the customer service side of things, what kind of questions do they ask each other? Do they ask their foreman? Do they deal directly with the customer? And Color Vowel's really been, it was a big part of that. And it went so well that we're going to set up another class in January.
Wonderful.
So, and shout out to the shop here. I love my Color Vowel mug. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back in with this. It's been just crazy year. We've had loss in the family and just other things going on. And um I'm finally getting my head screwed back on now, I think, so I can pick this up again.
Oh, that's great. Donna, I really was thinking just about electrical work. That's an example of what we focus in on rhythm and chants
Mm,
is, you know, if you want to if you want to sound like you know everything you know about electrical work, you're an electrician, what should come out of your mouth easily? And, you know, just as uh, that practice sheet idea and coming up, I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what we did last night. I
mm,
think I can share this because it doesn't have a lot of personal information on it. But one of our participants from Old Dominion University put this one together on water conservation. And, you know, this would be one of several of a packet for a course on, say, environmentalism. But you just end up with a nice flood. You end up with, on the prior page, your color vowel organizer that's topic based. And then from that, you devise activities like this chant, you know, harmful climate change drought. Ooh, that's a nice one. Harmful climate change drought. Harmful climate change drought. Conservation, coordination, harmful climate change, you know, so it goes on and becomes a way to practice and put in your mouth these actual words and phrases. And that's just a glimpse of the kind of work we do as a culminating activity for rhythm and chants. Okay. Something important that you just made me think of is you said you've been out for a little while and, you know, life gets busy and you come back. And folks, one thing that I can see Donna referring to in her mind is she has the journey sort of visualized in her mind. And so if you're not sure what the journey looks like, I want to show you where that is and that it's actually a visualizable object. So here on our website, once again, it's a nice place to start, colorvowel.com. If you just take a look at who we help and identify yourself, teachers, that's a pretty handy place to go. Because as you come down, you'll see our map of the journey. And then even more practical, you'll see the journey checklist. Okay. And Laura McIndoe right here in the room devised this. It's wonderfully helpful, just really practical. In fact, if you just click on it, you can start typing in it right away. You can download it and then save it. That's what I recommend. But as we type into it, like if this is Donna's color vowel journey, we can now kind of go through and say, yeah, you know, I did the basics, I've done the practicum, I took these courses, but, you know, okay, I'll say check, but I'm going to go back and audit rhythm and chants. Okay, these are spots where you can write the date. As you get closer to finishing your level 2 certificate, the dates and the certificate numbers come into play. so that we can verify. And that really helps when we do things like accreditation and licensing of organizations as we do. If you belong to a school and you're interested in more information about licensing or accreditation, mention that over in the chat to Jennifer and she can give you more information. Okay. But down here, this starts to look, a little bit more linear than just saying we have level 2. Here are those core courses. Okay. Here are what until now we've called electives. Now we're calling them advanced courses. Okay. Or you may see we're switching over. So you may see them called applied, but one way or the other, there are 3. And those are, again, our consonants course. It's a case study course. Okay. Our prosody course, again, another case study course, meaning we're listening to real students and we're identifying, we're prioritizing, and we're coming up with interventions for them. Okay. And then the third elective is lesson planning. And this is lesson planning with a color vowel integration involved. So ways to not just keep building in and stuffing your lesson, but rather simplify and see what we can do to have learners practice more, speak more, notice more while we step back and actually do less. So it's that kind of lesson planning, kind of life-saving sustainability lesson planning for us. Okay. I want to speak briefly about the coaching and teaching practicum. This coming year, each one will be offered only twice, and they also have limited capacity. So coaching practicum can have 4 coaches in total each time. So if you know you're ready, and you're ready, by the way, if you've completed these 4 core courses here and any of these other courses. But the 4 cores are required before you can do coaching practicum. Okay. Teaching practicum is the final capstone of level 2. And so everything else needs to be finished and in place. And that's when you do teaching. So don't be tricked. Just because coaching is at the bottom of the list doesn't mean you have to wait through all of these to do it. Okay. There are 4 coaching positions, and there are also some auditing positions. And this is the only course that we allow auditing before you've taken it. And that's because it's a pretty intense 8-week involvement. And so if you know yourself and you know that you really don't want to dive into something that's deeper than you were ready for, then auditing is kind of a good way to go. But again, we only offer the course twice a year. So just know that we take care of you. It's okay to dive in. I've got you covered. Okay. So I know different personalities want different things. Some people love just sitting in and watching the whole thing, getting an idea, and that's fine too. But if you do dive in head first, I'll be there to dive with you, I promise. Okay. Down here's that level 3 journey. The coursework, that's 3 different courses. The training practicum, Suzanne's in the training practicum right now, as is Alicia, who's I don't think right here right now. Okay. Gemma's already completed that whole journey. So this is kind of a glimpse, but it's a little deceptive. This is kind of a 1.5 years long. I would say about 1.5 years. Would you say, Gemma? Yeah. Yeah. About a, yeah. Okay. The capstone project is we're always working on, how to do that with our trainers, but it's a way to contribute to the community with either research or innovation of a material or any kind of action research that you might want to do. So that's a lot of fun. Any questions about the journey? Each of these links, by the way, takes you over to, again, we try to connect everything. So if you click on view courses, guess what? It takes you over to the Academy. Okay. And if you went back yet again, you would be able to see, here's the level 2 and here are the level 3. Okay. Folks, I don't want to keep you longer than you bargained for. I'm here to answer questions. I feel like we've gotten a pretty good glimpse of the year ahead. We've got a conference in August, entirely online and global. That'll be really exciting as a follow-up to last spring's face-to-face conference that we had in DC. A lot of you were there. That was wonderful. And I think this one is going to be equally wonderful in a different way, right? Because we'll have more people who can attend, different presenters who can come who weren't able to come face to face. We've got clinics for level 2 people, as well as actually those are open to everybody. And those are just $25 a pop. So you take a topic and, we'll have a lot of fun for an hour. It's very practical, very workshop based. What else? Those level 1 roundups that are there for anybody who's completed the level 1 practicum. Okay. And then all of our free events over in the teacher community, as well as pure English practice. Hi, Suzanne.
Karen, quick question. You mentioned early in this session, ear training clinic. Is that a one-time thing, or is that an ongoing? What's the format of that?
Yeah. So each of those clinics is an hour long, and they're each offered, it's 3 of them that are offered twice in the year. So ear training will be offered in, I think it's March, I can look. And then again, sometime I want to say October or November. And they'll be different because we'll listen to different learner speech in each one. So I just was thinking, I want a way for you to be able to dive into just a small commitment, 1 hour. And you know me, anything that's an hour, I'm happy to let it last an hour and a half. But I just wanted to try to make it something that isn't too onerous, a time commitment. And that's the idea. But with a big payoff, which is listening to authentic learner speech, really being able to hone in on, in the case of ear training, hone in on what we're hearing, how much of it is important, and what can we do to help that learner and how, right? So then we'll get into chants, we'll get into flooding, we might do a bit of yoga. So it's a very applied kind of clinic. And if you're new, it's open to everybody. If you're new, you'll be, sort of soaking in it with other folks who are Color Vowel trained. So that's.
I just have to comment on Doug's comment because I was thinking the same thing, Doug. Many years ago, as a piano student, I had to take exams in ear training, and I remember what they were like. But you were analyzing intervals, and so on, and it was, yeah, it's not a great memory. So I'd be happy to replace it with a better one.
Yeah. And if ear training sounds too scary, let me know if there's a better way to name this. But it's a fun kind of ear training. I don't know of many places where you get to listen to that authentic learner speech. And it's often so much in the abstract. And no wonder we all feel uncomfortable deciding, when to correct a student. It's like, well, because we don't know if we're supposed to aim for correct or if we're supposed to do something else. And this is all about the something else. Intelligibility versus comprehensibility, and where to dive in and where to sit back.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Nancy says, I'm totally new here. Can I expect to feel confident using what I've learned, even after basic exposure? I'm going to let folks answer this question for me. How soon are you able to use Color Vowel after a first basic exposure?
Right away.
Yeah. For that matter, what I'll say, does anyone else want to speak to that?
I think it's interesting because my students pick it up really quick and they seem to use it confidently without much trouble.
Yeah. In fact, Doug, you make me think of this. Often I find teachers come back and say, I was really nervous about it, but the learners had no problem with it. Laura, do you see that?
Yeah. Every time I do a basics workshop at the end, it's like, trust me. And, you can see the teachers' minds like overthinking it. And, I don't know, we just get in our heads. And then they come back to me and they're like, I just went in on Monday. And the students were like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's great. So we really kind of trip ourselves up. And the students are so grateful. They get it from the beginning. And they're just so happy to have something that explains all these things that they couldn't get before. So we always tell our teacher trainers, like, just do it, just go in, just use it, just start with day one and just trust. Yeah.
A lot of our training is about sort of unteaching teachers about the notion of how much we have to introduce or explain in advance. If we just step out of our own way, a lot of times we'll find it's beautifully effective from the start.
From the first email. Yeah, from the first email. I'll get an email and I'll write at the bottom, purple and her are pronounced the same. That's
Wonderful.
it.
Even
Yeah,
in
yeah. So we
text.
start the class out with the student amazed.
Wow. Wow, that's a wonderful, thank you. That's a wonderful short way of saying it. Jody, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that a great way, if you're new and you don't, you know, you don't want to spend money right away, attending the peer practice online sessions where, you know, where Karen actually works with learners and you can watch her doing that. Those are free sessions and it's amazing to watch it in action, I think, before you do it, and you can get a really nice sense of how things work.
Yeah, I've just put, I'm putting a link right now to everyone in the meeting, to the Pure English Practice page if you're not already a member there. That's a course, that's something new for 2025, by the way. For about 2 years, I've been teaching it every couple of Tuesdays, first and third Tuesdays. I've switched it up a little bit because I've got some other commitments. So they're always on Tuesdays. They're almost always twice a month, but some of these are going to be in the afternoon, my time. So take a look at the times. Don't assume it's at 10 a.m. A lot of these are going to now be at 2 p.m. And, you know, I'm open to feedback if you feel like you'd really like me to have some that are, you know, earlier in the day or hopefully not too late at night. I really start to roll up my sidewalks at about 9 p.m. So I used to do this at like midnight my time for years, and I just got kind of tired. So I'm looking for reasonable times that work, but also I'm responsive to you. Okay.
Karen?
Yeah.
I want to speak to the cost. I've looked at 4 different, besides yours, pronunciation workshops, and you're busy developing yours, so you don't have time to look at the costs of the others, but yours is a good buy for the money. I don't know if anyone has any idea. There's personal attention, there's well thought out materials. You're very open to discussing the needs of the students. And I looked at Jolly, another English language pronunciation course. And all you have to do is look at different ones. And I hope your students will realize what a nice opportunity this is to work with you and benefit from your material.
Oh, thank you so much. I was just thinking about that this morning, Michelle, is I don't know what online learning or online teacher development looks like or feels like in other portals. And I probably should spend some time doing that myself, but I don't know if anybody does the kind of personalized work we do. Gemma, you know, you've been doing a lot of this recently with your courses. Can you kind of share what that feels like when you're teaching?
For me, certainly, I don't know of anyone that offers pronunciation focused CPD in such a variety of ways. And like Michelle said, in such a kind of close familial atmosphere where you're getting so much personal feedback. A lot of the courses that I know that are out there are very good, of course, but they're much more hands off, I would say. Certainly, when I found Colour Vowel originally, what kept me coming back was there were so many different courses to try next. And it really provides such a comprehensive overview. And I don't know anywhere else that has such a kind of comprehensive array of courses that all kind of complement and build on one another. I think it's pretty unique.
Yeah, yeah. When we build the course, by the way, when you take level 1, this is a curriculum that is extremely centered and well developed. So the coaches, or rather the trainers like Gemma and Lynn and I and Suzanne, we're all following, we know that we're hitting all of the sort of objectives. And those objectives include time to listen to the participants. It's not just telling and telling and telling. There's a lot that's about perception and, you know, what do you hear and how do you say it and what color is that for you? And I think that's a major other difference is that Color Vowel is a descriptive approach. And that's very different from most others, which are prescriptive, or at least they might say they're flexible, but they're still talking about standard English. And we really are about accent variety, acknowledging how we ourselves differently speak in this room and attaching that to the chart. And that's why, you know, we're able to do things like have folks over in New Zealand or in Australia or Scotland, that all of us are able to find what we need on the chart. Okay. By the way, Jem and I are going to be doing a Fridays at in February. I'm going to post it pretty shortly after this session about those multiple charts, the Commonwealth chart and the North American chart, and how you might choose between them. We're practical and we're humble about this. I have to say, you know, Gemma will be the first to say she uses the Commonwealth chart, but it doesn't fit like a glove. Because Scottish English has its own, you know, peculiarities. And so she had to decide North American or Commonwealth. And, you know, she went with Commonwealth. Gemma, we look, you know, I think we're thinking about what we're going to say in that session, but you're already thinking a bit, right?
Always.
Karen,
meanwhile, yeah.
do you think you'll do a literacy class ever again?
I
want
think
to take it.
I do have a workshop coming up in the spring just after TESOL, and it's
Okay.
what's missing from the science of reading. So it's not a literacy workshop per se, but it's really questioning the paradigm of science of reading and the pendulum swing and the reading wars and how Color Vowel is filling gaps. It's an exciting workshop, actually. Laura McIndoe here in the room has been going through one of the science of reading. Let me say, science of reading is a paradigm, and then underneath that idea are various publishers with their programs that teachers get trained in. And so Laura, as well as Rebecca Wilner, some of you know her, these are two teachers who are going through these very in-depth, very long, I'll call them arduous trainings, and they're finding what is missing in them. So this is not just me, you know, lackadaisically saying what's missing. It's Color Vowel. There are truly gaps in all of these trainings because we know what Shirley and I happened upon through our creativity back in 1999 really does address a part of spoken English that has not been addressed in centuries. And I say centuries because we're addressing this gap that emerged from the terminology that left Middle English and evolved into modern English. And everybody, basically, their brains hid from them this mismatch and how we don't have a way to name what's going on in our spoken English. I know I'm getting very deep, but I'm passionate about what's happening in the science of reading these days. We have learners still falling into these big crevasses that are essentially engineered by the programs that are there supposedly to help them. So that workshop in just after the TESOL program in March is going to be addressing that with the help that Laura's providing and Rebecca Wilner. Okay. Thank you for asking about that. I wanted, while we have just a couple more minutes, it is the top of the hour. There was just one final thing I wanted to mention, and that is speak confidently. I don't think we've really given any airtime to that course. This is a course that is over in the Academy. You'll find it on our website rather than under teachers. If you look, let me just get back over there for you. And I'll kind of leave it on that note. Already so grateful for the time you all have contributed here. If you're here on our homepage and you go again, not to teachers, but rather to learners, we are not an ESL school. We are not a pronunciation school, but what we are is a place where non-native English speaking teachers can come to improve their confidence while they're getting trained in the Color Vowel approach. And so Speak Confidently is our main course. It's also our lab course for the coaching practicum. So those students who enroll here are often teachers themselves who are in the Color Vowel journey. And I just put that out there because I think it's a pretty unique setup. Okay. When you go to the Academy, you'll see their Pure English Practice and you'll see Speak Confidently. Okay. Lynn will be teaching the upcoming January round of Speak Confidently. I'll be in there as the mentor for the coaches. It's a very high quality course. It's all story based. Learners are working from their own life stories, telling them and getting feedback, practicing and revising that story. So there's a lot of rehearsal and a lot of benefit to that course. Just wanted to mention that for those of you who are non-native English speaking teachers who want to work on confidence, or if you have colleagues who you think would be interested. Okay. I want to thank everybody for being here. It's the busiest time of year. I know that. You took time out of your day. The folks watching the recorded session are thanking you too. So thanks again. Big kudos to Jennifer. She's not feeling very well at the moment, and she's in here, answering questions and making fixes on the website as we speak. So thank you, Jennifer. And great to see everybody. Okay. Have a wonderful day. Tomorrow we've got our materials Q&A in the afternoon. Hope you'll join me, tell some other people, and just keep spreading the word. Okay. Happy December, everybody. Bye-bye.